this industry specific, like, I think it's imperative that you have to be delusional. Imagine, like, all of the stars now. Where were they before? I think you have to be delusional. You have to tell yourself, like, you can be one of the greats. You have to tell yourself that you deserve it, which is, it's really hard in the beginning. It almost became a bit of, like, a therapy, too, right?
Yeah.
Playing all these different characters, getting to lash out sometimes, getting to play big emotions, like, it's freeing, you know?
Yeah. It's a thing of becoming comfortable in the uncomfortable.
And that is, like, one of the hardest things to do as an actor. That was something we all had to get through, and that was one of the hardest things through school alone. You really did have to be vulnerable. You had to be emotional, and you kind of had to be open about your feelings, because your character has to be open about those feelings. Acting, specifically, it's about putting yourself into the character. So why am I feeling these emotions? You know, kind of have to take from your own life and kind of make sense of it a little bit. When you do that, you're playing a character, but you are showing yourself in front of all these people. People would not stop talking about how I was shirtless during the school play, and I was like, thank you for never letting that down, right?
Yeah. Feeling good?
I'm feeling ready, baby.
Feeling ready, feeling good to go.
Feeling sexy.
Okay. Feeling sexy?
Yeah, man.
All right. Feeling
Feeling
blessed. Feeling
I'm feeling pretty blessed. You know, I'm feeling pretty privileged right now to be here.
privileged. All right. I love all the words. Words are great. Yeah. I need to ask you something. Okay, so first I want to talk about Marvel. Just fuck it. Just let's get right on into it. Marvel. The immediate thing. So when I'm searching up, when I'm doing all my like pre-show fucking, I don't know, research shit, like I'm just talking about like Marvel news and just like shit that like just seems like interesting to talk about. Now, here's the thing. I have a confession to make. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I am a fan of Marvel, but that sort of like the fan in me has tapered off throughout the years.
Okay.
I used to be a massive fan. Like, I'd watch like all the Avengers movies and everything like that, but now I'm like kind of mid. It's a hot take, but kind of mid.
Listen, like, go ahead.
So
go ahead.
what's your take? What's your take on the just Marvel in general? The direction it's going, the fucking, I don't know, your opinions on it. What's going on?
I feel like there's so many controversial opinions about Marvel specifically, and like I don't know, like the kind of path they're going in with it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of Marvel movies I've seen recently, they weren't it anymore. You know what I mean? It stopped being about the characters. It stopped being about, you know, the actors. It stopped being about the storyline, and I think it became more about, it's superheroes. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it, but like back in like the old Marvel, like let's say with Iron Man 1, Captain America, Thor, all of those like movies before the Avengers like actually came out to be, like it was just so much more, there was so much more depth to it. And it was more practical, and it was more something like people could relate to. And I think that's why the MCU, right? The Marvel Cinematic Universe became what it was. And then now I think it's just purely about money, unfortunately, you know? And so I think I'm such a diehard fan for superheroes and Marvel and even DC, all of that stuff. But right now, like the fan in me has been dying a little bit too. I feel like a lot of people can relate to that and understand that. I think a lot of directors and writers are trying to go back into the direction of making like human connections with these characters so people can relate to them more and give a little bit more like real world problems to these characters. But right now, like, I'm waiting, like, Marvel's good, I'm waiting for it to be great.
Yeah, I like that answer, waiting for it to be great. Okay, so here's the thing that my sort of outlook, my view. I think that the MCU was saved when Spider-Man joined it, because if Spider-Man never became a part of it, I don't know, I just think it would be a lot more boring. And I mean, well, actually, when did the MCU, like, when did they start bringing in all the superheroes into the movies? Was it the Avengers, or did they do that before?
When they like put them all in together, I'd say like Avengers, like the first Avengers movie was like when they first did a
Yeah.
team up. You know what I mean? Which was
Yeah.
so cool to see
Mhm.
everybody's favorite characters coming together and work together. But I think like when they really brought everybody in, it had to be like Avengers. No, like Captain America: Civil War. I guess that's when they brought in
Oh,
Spider
that's
Man.
right.
That's when
Yeah.
they brought in like every single character into like one movie, and then
Was
they
that Sorry, was that before the first Avengers?
no Captain America was after though.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
but that's when they brought in Spider Man, right? That's when they brought in some more
yeah.
characters that kind of like shocked people.
Yeah.
Um, and then I feel like after that they just like kept expanding how many characters they could put into like one movie. Like then you
Yeah.
had Infinity War where they put in like almost everybody. Then you had Endgame
Yeah.
where they did bring in like
Yeah.
literally every Marvel character
Literally
you
every.
could think of,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which was really cool. And then I think after Endgame, that's where it kind of dropped a little bit. That's where they dropped the ball.
Yeah. You know what? Like, for me, when I first watched Endgame, like, I thought that was the last Marvel movie they were making. And I thought that it was, like, kind of like the end of an era. So I was very surprised when they were like, actually, we're not done. Speaking of not being done, how do you feel about Robert Downey Jr. being Doctor Doom?
Listen,
Because I think it's kind of fucked up.
I'm not a fan of that direction that they're going with, and I really thought they were just faking people out with it. But
Yeah,
Robert Downey Jr. to me is Iron Man. He won't be
exactly. Yep.
any other character in Marvel, at least. He won't be any other character, right?
Yeah.
I can acknowledge and respect the fact that Robert Downey Jr. himself can put himself into any character, and he does have a wide variety of range. But in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he is Iron Man. He's no other character whatsoever. It's the same as like Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, right? The fact that they brought him back made me devastated because I won't be able to feel emotion for any other deaths in the MCU because they can just easily bring them back.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know,
exactly,
like-
right? Yeah, it's like it doesn't really mean as much. The thing I'm wondering, okay, so first off, they have, correct me if I'm wrong, have they 100% confirmed that RDJ is Doctor Doom? Or is it
Oh.
still a rumor?
100%, yeah.
'cause he was,
like
like,
they announced him at
revealed
Comic
in
Con,
the-
right?
Yeah, revealed he took off the mask, like I remember that. Like
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so it's 100% confirmed. How do you think that they're gonna fucking work that into the movie? Because in the movie, like character wise, they're gonna be like, well, I mean, like Iron Man is dead, Tony Stark is dead, right? And like, is he still gonna be Tony Stark in Doom's body, or is he gonna be just someone that looks exactly like Tony Stark, that talks like Tony Stark, that sounds like Tony Stark, that, you know what I mean? Like, how do you think they're gonna, do you have any ideas to like they're gonna do that?
All right, so and this is what's so confusing about it, right? Because like in
Yeah.
other universes in the MCU, like let's say with that with the latest Spider-Man movie, not the one that's coming out, but the one that already came out. What was that? Far From Home?
Yeah, I think
Um,
so. Or yeah, something like that.
They graced us with putting in Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire,
Yeah.
but they're completely different looking to Peter Parker in this universe. But that's where I get confused because in some other universes, like let's say Doctor Strange looks like Doctor Strange, but then Mr. Fantastic, played by John Krasinski, looks nothing like Pedro Pascal. So it
Yeah.
could go either way. It could be Tony Stark becomes Doctor Doom. You know what I mean? Like he has the
Yeah.
intellect. You know, it could have been something brought in his past that took that out of him. Maybe the death of his parents that turned him into Doctor Doom, or maybe he does play Victor Von Doom, which is a completely different person. It's literally it's up in the air. You don't know
Right,
what the MCU is gonna do, but I do know that I'm so psyched to see Doctor Doom and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I wonder how
okay,
they're gonna
that's what I was
play
gonna
that out.
ask.
Right.
Do you think that they're gonna be like Doom is the main villain in Brand New Day? That's the new one, 2026. Because I don't think they've released the. I don't think they've confirmed who the villain's gonna be in the new one, in the new Spider-Man.
I think there's been a lot of speculation, but nothing has been confirmed just yet. I would love if it was Doctor Doom against Spider-Man, but I also feel like Doctor Doom is such a big bad. You know what I mean? Like he's up there with Thanos. He's up there with Galactus. He's up there with with MODOK. You know, he is somebody not to be messed with. So I think your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man isn't gonna go up against him.
Yeah.
One-on-one. Like I think it would be a great cameo, and I think it would be something that would really ignite my inner child if I see him nearing the end of Spider-Man. But I don't think he's going to be the main villain of the story, or else you would have to have the entire Avengers coming in. You'd have to have everybody. Yeah.
But like, what would stop them from doing that? Because I feel like they've already been doing that.
I think because if you've seen the announcements, they do have Avengers Doomsday. Which means it's going to be the Avengers versus Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
So I think if they started off in the Spider-Man movie, it's kind of taking away from the storyline of Avengers Doomsday. But if they bring him in, like if they bring Doctor Doom in nearing the end, and then they bring in the Avengers and kind of end it there, or maybe it's like one of their famous post-credit scenes, that would be great. That would be something tasteful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if Spider-Man's going to see him in his new movie.
It would be something great. I think that would be really interesting because I can see it already, like where Doom takes off his mask and it's Tony Stark or whatever his name is. I don't know if his name would still be Tony Stark or what, but like I want to see like that reaction of like, will Spider-Man know that it's him or not?
Will he think it's Tony Stark? And then he goes to him and gets attacked, whatever. Like there's so many different ways they could go about it.
Yeah.
I also, because I know in a lot of both of the Fantastic Four movies, the one that came out in the early 2000s and the one that came out in the 2010s, Victor Von Doom, like he couldn't take his mask off. So maybe that's how they'll play it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why they would do that though. Like they could have chosen any actor to play Doctor Doom if it was just a dude stuck in a mask, right?
Yeah.
So I hope they show Robert Downey Jr.'s face and everything into it, because it would make it that much more emotional, you know what I mean, rather than him just playing a completely different character hidden away.
Yeah. You think it's, and this might be a dumb question, but like I said, it's kind of the fan in me has tapered off. So Iron Man or Tony Stark, whatever you want to go with, like did he die? Was it Infinity War or Endgame?
Endgame, like the last one.
Endgame. So does that mean that Iron Man is just no more? Like we'll never see Iron Man again? Or do you think they're going to bring him back in some way?
I hope they don't bring him back. I'm not going to lie. As much as I love Iron Man, and Iron Man is my like top 2 Avenger, right? He's my second favorite character in all of Marvel.
Yeah.
He needs to, I feel like he needs to stay dead, because it just like, you wouldn't be doing his character justice if you just brought Tony Stark back. There was a lot of speculation about bringing back another like Iron Man from a different universe. Like there's one called, I think it's Superior Iron Man or something like that, where he's also a villain, but he's just like that much worse. But I think now that they're bringing in Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, I don't think they'll be doing anything else with Iron Man. I think they might do something with maybe like Pepper Potts, or possibly his daughter, because they did mention in the Endgame movie that his daughter liked to like tinker around with stuff just like Tony. So I think it would be really special if his daughter kind of took the mantle and took over as like Iron Woman. Iron Woman. There you go.
Yeah, that would be cool. Fuck's sake, eh? Well, you've been watching Marvel movies for a large portion of your life, I guess you could say. What is oh god?
I've been watching Marvel movies since I can remember. I'm such a huge nerd about all that stuff.
I thought you were like worried for some question I was about to ask you. Well, actually, hang on. Sorry, before we move on, I have to ask you this. You had mentioned that Iron Man was your top 2. Does that mean is that implying that he is second place and there's someone else in first place? Yes. So who is first place?
I feel like everybody knows this answer. I feel like this is most people's answers. You can say it.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Come on.
Yeah,
I mean,
see, like that's the only right answer.
You can't go wrong with Spider-Man, and like something about seeing him up on the screen no matter how old you are, it really does bring out your inner child. It
Yeah.
brings out your wonder. It brings out,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
all of these emotions with it. And
Yeah.
like Spider-Man is such a great character with so much depth to him.
Yeah.
And he's just a badass. Let's be
Hell
so for
yeah.
real. I mean, like he could
Yeah.
go toe to toe with Hulk, right? Like that's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
He's
Exactly.
but he's so humble about it. He's still just a teenage kid like everybody else. And I loved
Uh-huh.
what Stan Lee said in one of his own podcasts or interviews, where he said
Yeah.
anybody could be behind that mask. Anybody could be Spider-Man, right? And
Well,
to think
now
about that,
because the suit has powers.
does this? Oh yeah, I guess the Iron Spider, right?
Yeah.
But I
But
think
like
what
Tobey
he
Maguire, no one can be Tobey Maguire. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
nobody can replace the actors who have played Spider-Man, and that's what I love so much about it. But
Oh,
when
the
you think
actors.
about
I see
just
what you're
the like the character alone, like let's
saying.
say you're a civilian in the MCU, you have no
Yeah.
idea who Spider-Man is. It could be
Yeah.
anybody under that mask. You know
Oh,
what I
see
mean?
what
Like
you're saying. I see what you're
the
saying.
fact that he's like
Yeah.
fully covered up, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
why so many people are a fan of Spider-Man
Yeah.
because they could be that person behind the mask.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a really cool take. You said that Stan Lee said
Stan
that?
Lee mentioned that, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what he liked about
Never
it,
heard
you know?
him say that, but yeah, that's cool. That's a really, I like that. It sort of like gives people that sort of like feeling that they could be that. Is that what you're saying? Is that what
Exactly.
you were saying? Yeah,
Absolutely.
like yeah, cool. Cool.
They could be
cool,
like
cool.
the hero they've always wanted
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah. How do you feel about like the DC universe trying to compete with the MCU?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Right now, the DC universe is cooking. Like, let's
Yeah.
okay. Like, first of all, Batman in 2022 with Robert Pattinson,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
kicked ass. All right,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like. I don't want to see it. I'm low key like. When I heard it was Robert Pattinson, I was thinking, oh, the Twilight guy is gonna play Batman. That's so stupid. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's only ever been like one character in my mind, and then I saw the movie,
Mhm.
and that's the only
good.
Batman I want to see now.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I know they're like I heard they're gonna be doing a different Batman with the new DCU that they've been doing, but like that is
Okay.
Batman to me now. I think
Right.
he's it's just so much more realistic. He's so much down to earth. He's more of a detective, which is
Yeah.
what Batman's supposed to be. I thought it
Right,
was
right.
so cool. And then they brought out they had James Gunn, of course,
Yeah.
direct for Suicide Squad 2 after he was fired from Marvel with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, what the fuck? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
hear
he
about
was unfortunately he was canceled for
Did you say
some
some fuck shit or something?
he said some fuck shit on Twitter like back in his past,
Oh,
whatever,
yeah,
but it was nothing
yeah.
serious. It was nothing that he genuinely meant as a person, and I
Yeah.
believe he was actually rehired to do Guardians of the Galaxy 3
Oh, okay,
afterwards.
cool.
Yeah, but he did Suicide Squad 2, and everybody loved how much, like, how different it was from all of the other DC movies. It wasn't trying to be serious. It wasn't trying to be this superhero movie to bring in money. It was something experimental, and it was something that, like, comic book readers and genuine, like, nerds
Yeah.
could enjoy, you know? Like, they brought out the true characters of each person they had in the movie.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
so they, after seeing his success, of course, they brought him in to do like the Peacemaker TV series, which killed. Everybody is in love with. Peacemaker was a character nobody knew. You know, he
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
a household name when he was
Yeah.
in the comic books, right? But James Gunn turned Peacemaker into somebody everybody knows and loves now.
Yeah.
And like the recent
That's cool. Turned
the
him into a
recent
household
season
name.
2 just came out. Yeah, it's a household name now. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
You say Peacemaker,
yeah.
everybody knows who that is. If you
Right,
said
right.
that, you know, like 15 years ago, people would look at you like you're crazy. Like who the
Yeah,
hell's that?
like,
You know what I
who
mean?
the fuck is this guy?
So I made
Who
it
the
quick.
fuck is this guy? With Batman,
Right.
do you think? So, I mentioned how my Marvel fanness is like tapering off. DC has never really been. Like it's only been Batman for me. I don't really know anybody else in the DC universe, and Robin, I guess. But do you think it would be cool if, like, say they did this something similar with like what they did with Spider-Man, where if they had, say it was Robert Pattinson, and say they brought back Christian Bale or like fucking even Michael Keaton, like what if they just like brought them all together and did that sort of thing? Would that just be like copying Spider-Man, do you think, or like?
See, because they kind of, well, they didn't really do it. Well, first of all, I think that's too much badass in one room. You know what I mean? It's too much badass in one
Yeah.
movie. You can't do all the Batman. That's just insane. Like your mind would be running all over the place.
Yeah, yeah,
I think it would be kind of like taking from Marvel,
yeah,
and almost using the ideas, but that's Marvel and DC have been having that since they've ever started, since they started making comic books. They
yeah.
did bring back Michael Keaton for the Flash movie. I do remember that.
Oh yeah, cool.
And I do remember thinking like they kind of took from Marvel with Tobey Maguire and with Andrew Garfield, which I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
like. You know, like I was waiting for DC to have their own original thoughts and ideas to put
yeah.
into movies,
Right.
and the wait was worth it because I feel like James Gunn is starting to do that now with the DCU. He's trying to
Yeah,
create, hopefully the last universe for DC because they've been going crazy with it,
yeah.
all over the place. But yeah,
Cool.
I think they're not going to do anything like that anymore. I think James Gunn is a terrific director, and I think they have a great board of writers right now where they can actually be their own independent individual universe, and they don't have to
Yeah.
take from other ideas or from other creative projects. You know?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you ever see the DCU and the MCU colliding? Or
I would
or
pass
is
out. I would go into a coma of excitement. I think that would be so cool. They've done comic books about it before, right?
Oh, they have.
Um,
Okay.
they have where it's like Spider-Man and like Batman. I know I've seen Captain America and Batman work
Yeah.
together. That's
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
I If they could do it where the DC universe was just a separate universe from Marvel,
Yeah.
so they could work together,
Yeah.
every fan would be going
That'd
to
be
see
like
that
the
movie.
biggest fucking yeah, because you'd be bringing the DC fans
And the
together
MCU
with the Marvel
fans.
fans. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know there would be such a debate about it too. You know, it'd be like King Kong
Yeah.
versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no,
Right.
I think it would be so cool to put that together, but also because of like they're from two different like companies. You know,
Right.
Disney doesn't own DC yet. At least I don't know what Disney's going after these days.
Yeah.
But
Taking over
they're
the fucking world, pretty much.
exactly no. But the
Buying
legality of it
everything.
right now, like it would be impossible to put them together,
Yeah.
which is so
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
But it's also nice to know like there's different universes you can go to.
Yeah.
Um, that like Marvel or DC can't touch, right? It's
Right.
kind of nice to know. A crossover would be
Yeah.
sick, but I don't think we're ready for it just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe someday. I don't know. Yeah, an official welcome. My guest today, of course, everybody watching, listening, viewing from around the world. My guest today here is actor Kaden Legrow, hailing from Toronto, with a background in theater and a serious passion for storytelling. He's someone who loves talking about acting, the entertainment industry, and men's mental health. He's also a bit of an adrenaline junkie and a type 1 diabetic, which not everyone knows about him. We met back in our days at the Toronto Film School, where we even worked together on a short scene that I wrote called The Great Oreo Debate, which, if you ask me, deserves an Oscar, but that's neither here nor there. So, as always, please, without further ado, please join me in welcoming Kaden to the show, and let's get on into it. Let's continue, I should say. I started doing the whole, like, I wanted to do the icebreaker, then I go into the intro. How do you feel about that? How we feeling about? Does it feel, like, less special?
Less special. I feel like the icebreaker is, oh my god, it's so needed. You know what I mean? It
So
releases
yeah.
all of that tension.
Yeah, because I think
Okay?
the best, like the reason why I started doing it is because, so to really, really, really maintain that conversational aspect of the show. Oh, are you back? Are you here?
Yeah.
Okay, it just
Yeah,
froze
you
for
cut
a
out too.
second.
I
That's
conf-
okay. Yeah,
Great.
we
You know,
both
we
lost
did all these
connection.
icebreakers and now we're losing connection. That's so good.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's okay. Like the thing I record on, it's it does things where we're good. We're good if
We're
it
chilling.
freezes. Anyways,
Absolutely.
what were we talking about? Oh yeah, yeah. So I just feel like doing the icebreaker first, it just sort of like really, I don't know what the word is, enforces it, like just really makes that conversational aspect really flow. So I hope that shows through.
Yeah.
But of course I got to give you your intro. I mean, like, you deserve it. So yeah. Speaking of all the things I was just saying, like the acting stuff, I guess sort of I don't know, relating it to the Marvel stuff. You've been watching Marvel stuff for a long time. Was Did that have anything to do with you ever wanting to become an actor, or was there a specific moment that you wanted to become an actor, or was it just something that just interested you?
So not a lot of people know this. When I was younger, like younger, like kindergarten, my
Yeah.
mom always used to ask me and my sister, like, "What do you guys want to do when you're older?" And I feel
Mm.
like that's such a cool thing. Is like asking your kids what they're passionate about and what they want to be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So my
Cool. Yeah.
mom, she always used to ask us what we would want to do, and I always used to say, like every time without fail, "Mom, I want to be a superhero." And then she would
Okay.
say, "Well, I hate to break it to you, you can't be a superhero." And I'd be like, "Well, you just told me I could be anything I want, so what's up?" And I would always tell her, "Mom, I want to be a
Yeah.
superhero. Mom, I want to be a superhero." And I think watching all those characters on screen, it really brought like a sensation of like hope and curiosity. And like I would
Yeah.
always just want to jump through the screen and be those characters, or at least interact with them.
Yeah.
And so when telling my mom, "Mom, I want to be a superhero," it kind of shifted into, "Mom, I want to help people. I want to become a police officer. I want to work in EMT. I want to join the military, serve my country, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
Then I found out through my type 1 diabetes,
Yeah.
I couldn't actually do what I wanted to do in the military. And that's kind of what I prepared for all through
Oh,
high
okay.
school,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so I found out it couldn't work out, womp womp, and then I had to really ask myself, well, what do I want to do? And I kind of remembered, "Mom, I want to be a superhero." And I'm like, well, I don't want to be stuck doing like a day-to-day job, doing the same thing over and over on repeat. And I thought, well, what about acting? I did a little bit of it in high school. I did some theater. I really enjoyed it. I always got good grades, which was kind of a boost of confidence.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I realized like I could be anything I want to be in that industry. So I decided I'm going to be a superhero one day, hopefully, and I'm going to get into acting. I'm going to put everything I have into it. And that's
Fuck
kind of where
yeah.
we are right now.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's
I've always
that's
been
that's
into it.
super sort of symbolic. I don't know if that's the right word, but I like how like that was you wanting to be that superhero has sort of transformed into what it is today. So is the goal to be in the MCU? Like I am someone who like I love big dreams, big goals, like something that may seem fucking outlandish or unrealistic to someone. Like I love that shit, bro, because you know what I always think is I go back to the saying YOLO, you only live once. You only live once. So be crazy, be big, be bold. Fuck it. We're here
Right.
once. Like who cares, right?
And I
So,
think, yeah, no, absolutely. In this industry specific, like, I think it's imperative that you have to be delusional. You see a
yeah.
lot of, like, imagine, like, all of the stars now. Where
Yeah.
were they before? I think you
Yeah.
have to be delusional. You have to tell
Mhm.
yourself, like, you
Mhm.
can be one of the greats. You have to tell yourself that you deserve it,
Yeah.
which is, it's really hard in the beginning, but
Yeah.
you gotta be delusional. You gotta be out there. You have to be
Yeah.
outspoken
Yeah.
to get to where you want to be in life. You only have
Yeah.
one life, YOLO, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
so you should always like shoot for the moon and at least
Right.
land on the stars.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
like that.
being like
Yeah.
I would love to play a superhero. I would love to play a Jedi. I would love to play so many different characters, a firefighter, a police officer.
Yeah.
The MCU though, see that's the thing. I don't know if I would want to be in the MCU.
Mm.
Just because of the stigma around it right now, like we were talking about earlier. I
Okay. Yeah.
don't know if it would be the right move. I've also
Yeah.
heard multiple people say if you play a superhero, that's all you're going to be seen as in your future career, right?
Yeah. You're kind of typecasted in that sense. Yeah.
You kind of typecast it, but honestly, that doesn't even matter too much to me. Being a superhero is the dream, of course, but I've been debating myself lately if I would want to be MCU or DCU because the DC has been killing it recently in everything they've been doing, and it's all thanks
Yeah.
to James Gunn for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Being a superhero in general, 100%. Like I would take that role immediately if I could.
Mhm. Mhm.
If it's the MCU, I would have to debate it. If I could
Oh,
choose between
specifically with
one,
the MCU.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, just because like being in a Marvel movie isn't what it used to be.
Yeah.
All of
Yeah. It's
these.
very. Would you call it like commercialized? Maybe I'm using that word wrong, but like, it's not as core. It's like more broad. It's more, I don't know. The core fans, it's a very small group now, I feel like.
No, absolutely. I feel like it was something really special to people who did enjoy comic books and enjoyed
Yeah.
superheroes, and now it
Yeah.
is very commercial. It's very supposed to be meant for everybody, and it kind
Yeah.
of lost its original fan base. It
Yeah.
lost what
Yeah. Yeah.
made it, like so special.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but the MCU, the reason why it's so commercial today is because of how well they did in their earlier years. Like they killed it with
Yeah.
each movie. So
Right.
I understand why it's for everybody now because they did so well. And of course, the comic book fans, the superhero fans, are happy about how well they did. But now it's kind of deriving from what it was supposed to be. I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. For sure. And you have a background in theater,
yes.
which I didn't know. That's
Oh.
super cool. Super, super cool. What? Well, okay. Here, how do I start? How do I word that? Well, I guess in Toronto Film School, we worked on the play in our 5th term. I know you have some thoughts on that, the experience, maybe that. I don't know if you want to talk about that. You don't have to, but you know, I guess.
Let's get into it, man. Let's
Yeah.
get into it. Let's get dirty. Let's get down and dirty.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
What the fuck was the play called? I'm blanking.
Departures and Arrivals.
Departures and Arrivals. Yeah, there
Departures
you
and
go.
Arrivals. Yes.
Yeah. Which I think I might have been talking to someone about this recently. My initial thoughts, I don't know about you, but my initial thoughts on that play was like, holy fuck, this is going to be boring as fuck. But it actually, like how I feel, I think it turned out pretty good. Like, I enjoyed the process, and I think it was a pretty interesting story. How did you feel about it?
No, I think you really have to give congratulations to Jonathan Whitaker because
Director, yeah.
at the start, it did seem like a boring fucking play. Like it seemed like nobody was into it. Nobody wanted to give it the energy that it needed.
Yeah.
But I think Jonathan really did over the weeks. He proved to us just how important the message was in this play. Human connection, right?
Yep.
It plays a big role in everybody's life. And I think, especially in like today's age, in the
Right.
present, we're losing that real human connection. I think it has a lot to do with social media, technology, blah, blah, blah. But we're losing it. And I think it was a very powerful message. And I think everybody in that class, after literal blood, sweat, and tears we put into rehearsing and getting it right, we all really had our own human connection with that play. It really made us like a tighter knit group. It made us more like it bonded us really, and that was the message of the entire play. And so I think we put a lot of that into the play. I think a lot of people didn't see that when they came to see the play. Unfortunately, I've heard some comments, I've heard some notes, whatever, but it was special
really?
to us, and that's what mattered. Yeah, yeah. I've heard.
What are people saying?
They're really nice about it. I've never heard anybody like
Okay.
come so
That's
forthright
good, at
about.
least.
But I've heard notes like, oh, the other term's play was probably my favorite, and like,
Yeah.
it wasn't the most exciting play I've seen, and you have to agree with them. It's
So-
understandable.
My thoughts on that is, while I loved our play, I remember seeing the other classes play, and I was like genuinely entertained, like from start to finish. And I
Yeah.
think that they have that advantage because they had a lot of like the musical like fucking dance numbers. That remember like how they were all in like they looked like stick figures, the lights.
Yes,
And
yes.
they were all like fucking dancing.
Well, they were
That was
glowing.
fucking so cool. But I have to be completely fucking honest. I don't remember much of what their story was
Yes.
because I
See,
was so focused on the dancey moves.
all the
And that's
flashy
no
like
shade
yeah.
at them. It was a fantastic play, but that's just where I'm at.
And like I get it, like some people just want entertainment for entertainment. You know what I mean? They don't
Yeah.
want to like some people want to shut their brain off. They don't want to look for the deeper meaning. They don't want to look for the message. They just want to be entertained.
Yeah.
This play that the other term did, it did have a deep message about love and connection and who you are within. But I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot most of the message too. It was very flashy. It was very entertaining. I had
Yeah.
such a great time watching them just put their whole pussy into this fucking play. But yeah, it didn't stand out to me in the way of I'm gonna take that home with me. I'm gonna internalize that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we did unfortunately lose a lot of our audience members because of how our play was a little bit more slower paced, I would say.
It was.
So
It
we
was.
lost a couple of people along the way, but I think our play, the message was so deep. It's something you can take home with you. It's something you can internalize. It's something you can think about. And I think
Yeah.
it's something that's timeless,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, like our play, it was right. We only had less. What was it? Hour 90 minutes to do the play. I
It
completely
was.
forget. Was it
It
less than that?
was 75 minutes, so that's an hour and 15.
Right. So we only had an hour and 15 minutes to do an entire play and get the message across.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
had to
Yeah.
cut so much out. But
Oh my
unfortunately,
god, I remember all the cuts we did.
we cut like I want to say we cut like over like 30% of the entire play.
Oh, I'd say
That was
so.
a
And
lot.
you know
Yeah.
what? Remember that it was near the end of the play. This will be actually kind of cool for like those that did watch the play. I mean, I know there wasn't a ton, but you know, for those that did, if they're watching this, behind the scenes there was that director. Remember that scene right at the end? It was scene like
Yes.
19 or something like that, where like there was the director, the first AD, the actor. You know, it took place in like was it the house or something like that? Do you remember that?
No, I thought it took place in the airport where it was the
Or
two
was it in
kids,
the
the mom,
airport?
the
Yeah.
dad, and they
Yeah,
were like the
yeah, yeah.
actors, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
yeah.
very meta. It was very like
Yeah.
breaking the fourth wall almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I was so, I don't know, not to sound so dramatic, but like heartbroken when that scene got cut, because that was such a
It was a bit of a mind fuck, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
remember when we were all sitting in the room doing the table read, and we all found out for the first time that
Yeah.
scene was in the play. It was great, and then like almost immediately, Jonathan was like, "Yeah, we're cutting that." And it's like, it was
Oh, yeah, I
devastating.
know.
It was
like-
devastating, but he made all the right choices he was supposed to for the production
Yeah.
of the play. Like he
Yeah,
really did.
Which, admittingly, there were times where I was losing trust in Whitaker,
Mm.
but I think it turned out for the best. I really do. I really do. And, you know, I mean, my personal sort of views on like Whitaker himself. I think he's a great director with a lot of passion, and I think his vision really like shows through, and I think that's what makes him like a great director. Because sure, like I think like he collaborated with us like on ideas and everything like that, but he saw it in a certain way, which at the time kind of was frustrating, I think, for us actors. But I don't know. I mean, I think it turned out pretty good, and just kind of looking back on it, very very enjoyable experience through and throughout.
No, absolutely. I feel like if I could go back in time to that moment, I would in instant because I miss that. I miss being with you guys. You know, I miss doing the
Yeah.
play. I miss working together, and I miss like even all the bullshit we had to go through. Jonathan
Yeah.
Whitaker, he is like I cannot talk enough about that man. He really was an inspiration, and he truly is an artist. I do think when it came to collaboration, it was a little bit more tough because he did have
Yeah.
an image set in his mind of what he wanted to do and how he wanted to
Yeah.
portray it. And of
Yeah.
course, all of us new actors still learning in like a school while he's our instructor as well as our director. It did create that kind of dynamic where we did have to listen to him because he did know what was best. He's been in the industry longer than any of us combined. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was hard to see his point of view and to see the meaning behind what he was trying to do with the play
Yeah.
because we were going at it step by step. We didn't see the full picture. And then after seeing the full picture, I think we kind of like, oh, okay, we understood. And then I know nearing the end, he did start taking collaboration. He did start listening to like different ideas we had, which was so nice. It was
Yeah.
great because like other artists working together and putting it into like this beautiful play that we did, it meant so much more, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right.
It wasn't all just one person. It was all of us together working together. And like even like I don't know if you remember like Dante Gianfrido and
Yeah,
Farrah
of course.
Taylor, like
Yeah.
their scenes, like
Yeah, oh yeah, the
the
pilot
pilot
and
and the flight attendant.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh my god, I think well, first of all, they're such great actors, both of them.
yeah.
And
Oh
like I
yeah,
remember working with them since term one, and like seeing how far they've come along from just 5 terms in school alone.
right.
Like they
Yeah,
were like immaculate. They worked
yeah,
so well together too. They played
for
off of each
sure.
other hilariously.
Yeah.
I think they saved the play low key. Like they did so
I
well.
do remember the audience having a very sort of like a great reaction to their scenes. Yeah.
Exactly. And like that was one of the scenes where they really all collaborated together. I remember like
Hmm.
when we'd be on break and they would all work on their scene specifically together, I would kind
Yeah.
of sit in and just watch how they would work it.
Oh
And
yeah,
it was
cool.
so
Yeah,
great. And I
nice.
just remember like they're all like trying to figure out the scene and what it means together. And then we're like, oh, but what if we did it like this way? And they would like just kill themselves laughing with how
Yeah.
much funnier they could make the scene
Yeah.
working together, man, and just really like going over the text over and over and over again. And like they turned, something kind of mediocre into like one of the funniest scenes in the entire play. No, it was great. It
Hell
was
yeah.
really cool to see
Hell
those
yeah.
actors like working together
Yeah.
and to see Jonathan working with them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was cool. That was. What about theater? I guess like do you like? Is there any part that sticks out the most to you? Like, is it the connection that you build with your castmates? Is it like what? What is it?
That is such a great question. Oh my god. You're wanting like hour-long responses from me. I think the
I
most
love
like
it.
oh man, I think the most important part about theater work specifically is being vulnerable, right? And that
Yeah.
is like one of the hardest things to do as an
Mm.
actor. Like holy shit. So when I say being vulnerable, I mean like putting egg on your face first of all in front of all of your co-stars, all of your actors who are on
Yeah.
cast with you. That was
Yeah.
something we all had to get through, and that was one of the hardest things through
Yeah.
school alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you really did have to be vulnerable. You had to
Hmm.
be emotional, and you kind of had to be open about your feelings because your character has to be open about those feelings.
Yeah.
And I really do like. I think acting specifically, it's about putting yourself into the character. So why am I
Oh,
feeling
for
these
sure.
emotions? You kind of have
Yeah.
to take from your own life and kind of make sense of it a little
Yep.
bit. And
Exactly.
so
Yep.
when you do that, you're playing a character, but you are showing yourself in front of
Yeah.
all these people.
Yeah.
And then you're showing yourself in front of all these people watching you afterwards,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Exactly. Right.
while you're performing in front of a stage or on a stage.
Yeah.
I think working with your actors first and rehearsing, of course, it's so needed because you're able to get comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
once you feel like you have your family, these people have your back, you can rely on them.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to throw egg on your face in front of an entire crowd of people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what gives the adrenaline rush. You know what I mean? Because people they
Hmm.
see that and they love it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like they applaud you
Exactly.
for putting all this work into a character, for being vulnerable, and I think that's what really just gives everybody that like huge like sigh of relief, the weight off their shoulders, the
Right.
adrenaline boost. I think
Yeah.
it's something truly special. But being vulnerable is definitely like with any acting even, it's just the most
Yeah.
important aspect to it, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Absolutely. I
yeah.
love that. Love that. Vulnerability is definitely hard to find for sure.
Yeah.
But it's it's the hardest or one of the hardest emotions to hit, but it's also I would say probably one of the most important emotions to or feelings or whatever however you want to describe it. Because if you're not vulnerable through your acting, it's like well, it's like you were saying, it doesn't really hit, I guess. Right?
It doesn't hit, and I
Yeah.
think it kind of works hand in hand. Like once you're vulnerable, then you can be passionate. Once you're
Yeah.
passionate, then you can be out there. Then you
Yeah,
can show the
yeah.
emotion. Then you can make it entertaining.
Yeah.
Then you can, you could rule the world, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of
Yeah.
people think they can do a good performance without putting on a mask, without putting on a character. But I think you
Right.
really do have to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
into who you are as a person to properly
Yeah.
play a character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but it does.
I'm
It brings
gonna
up like that passion.
yeah. I'm gonna reference something that I heard Chris Jacko say, and I'm sure he wasn't the first person to say this, but he's just the one that like sticks out when I think of this saying of "Don't be afraid to fail." And I think when he told me that it was so meaningful because it took all kind of sort of tension away, right? And it sort of made being vulnerable a lot easier. I don't know if you feel that way, but I feel like if I sort of like once I um got that in my head of like, yeah, I can mess up. Like this is not life or death, I guess you could say. Um it just sort of allowed for me to just sort of play, I guess.
No,
Um
absolutely. I think what
yeah.
Chris Jacko taught most of us in his class, Chris Jacko, by the way, uh,
Shout
one of my
out.
favorite instructors ever. We did an
Yeah.
auditioning class with him, right?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think what he taught almost all of us in that class was we're not here to give our best performance. We're still here to learn.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
making those mistakes, um, not being afraid to mess up, is
Yeah.
what teaches us, right, through acting.
Yeah.
All these
Yeah.
instructors before us, they didn't have classes like we did. They had to make the mistakes in front of actual casting directors in
Yeah, yeah.
actual auditions, which is like you kind of have to be okay with rejection. You have to be okay with messing up. You have to learn all of that to become
Yeah.
truly great. Chris
Right.
Jacko drilled that into our minds, which was
Right.
so great. It was such a freeing feeling once he
Yeah.
brought that out of us, right?
Yeah.
No, he was great. He was amazing.
Hell
Yeah, I
yeah.
remember working with him specifically, and why like it was maybe the first or second day of us going to class with Chris Jacko,
Right.
and I just remember seeing how much passion, energy, emotion, and physicality he put
Yep.
into just like getting us into character and to like
Yeah.
showing us the true story and the depth of everything. I remember him getting up in front of the camera with us and kind of like showing us how deep we can go with each scene. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
just something truly special. He was the most
It was.
passionate
It
instructor
was.
I've ever met, and it
It was.
was that's why
Yeah.
he's one of my favorites. He's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people give props to Andrew Moody, and I'm sure he's
Hmm.
great. That's you know I have no idea, but I've heard great things about him. Um, I'm very grateful though that we had Chris Jacko because he, like you said, he you could tell that he wanted to be there, which showed through and made us want to be there.
Absolutely.
You know?
He
Yeah.
made us excited about it, right? And I
Yeah.
think I have heard amazing things about Andrew Moody. I haven't heard a single bad thing about Andrew Moody.
No,
Whenever
yeah, me
his
neither.
name
Me
is
neither.
mentioned,
Yeah.
like the entire room will light up.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah.
unfortunately, I didn't have the chance to work with him. I'm
No,
assuming
neither
you
did
never
I.
had the
Yeah.
chance with.
Yeah.
But I think Chris Jacko specifically is why I'm where I'm at with my acting right now.
That's awesome.
I think he kind of brought me to like the next level
Yeah.
of where I was supposed to be, and I
Yeah.
will be forever grateful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I mean I hope that he will see us talking about him. Unfortunately, we've kind of lost touch a bit.
Yeah.
I remember on the night of our grad night, which actually I guess you weren't there, unfortunately, but yeah. No, I mean just kind of about that. Like I was having like a weird mental health day. So I was very like checked out the whole day, and unfortunately, like the at the end, I was like not really talking to anybody. This is kind of getting deep and real. And I remember like he had come up to me just as I was leaving, and he's like, "Oh, what are you just gonna like ignore me?" Like in a joking way, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh yeah," like So, anyways, long story short. Chris Jacko, if you do ever happen to see this, it's nothing personal. It's nothing anything. I was just like, I don't know, having a tough day, I guess. Um, but yeah, he was a great teacher and very blessed, very blessed. You have a past in theater, you were saying, so there's more
Right.
to it than the play that we did. What are some other stuff you've done?
Oh my god. So it's all high school theater, right?
Okay, yeah.
I never joined a theater in town, anything like that.
Wow.
But I remember grade 9 was when I started. I wasn't even in a drama class, but I remember they were just doing a high school play. It was written by all of the students. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Why not? I'm bored. I got nothing to do. Let's try it out. So
Yeah,
I
cool.
go in, and they're like, okay, for the audition, you just need to choose a monologue or write your own monologue and something about like emotion and just show emotion. And I was like, well, fuck, because I heard that not 5 minutes before I had to do the audition. I was in the room when I heard the requirements for it, right? I was so underprepared. I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never acted in my life before that. And I was like,
Right.
okay, bet. So I pull out my fucking notes on my phone, of all things, and I just like write out like this really stupid, dumb 1 minute monologue about like going off the rails and losing your emotion before you can like contain it or fully control yourself. I remember just like going up. I remember starting it off. I remember seeing this one teacher. She didn't like me very much. I hated this teacher, but she was just looking at me like I was stupid when I started. I'm like, okay, they're not fucking with this.
Yeah.
And I was so scared. But then I kept going. I decided she doesn't exist anymore. She's not in this room. This is me talking
Okay.
to somebody that really matters to me. And so when I put in like these real world situations about my own life, I started to kind of get it out of my body, and I became a little bit more natural with it. And then by the end, I had people like congratulating me, I guess, a little bit
Yeah.
on my audition. And this was like such an unprofessional
That's
project,
high
right?
school,
So
right?
like
Yeah.
I had the other like the writers of the script tell me like, oh, you know, when we were writing this character, that's exactly the type of person we had in mind. And that
Oh, cool.
felt really nice. That felt really
Yeah.
good. You know, I was
Yeah.
terrified at the
They hit the
start, but
mark there. Yeah.
I hit the mark and I got the role,
Yeah.
which was pretty nice. So
That's really cool.
I did audition for it. We did all of the rehearsals for it, and that's how I met one of my best friends, Blair Palmer. Actually, we were in
Cool.
this same production together. It was about
Yeah.
us like slowly kind of falling in love,
Okay.
and then last minute, because people slowly stopped showing up to auditions, we had to cancel the play.
Oh no.
Right then and there, we had to
Oh
cancel the
no.
play, and I was like, "This is devastating." I've showed up to every single rehearsal. I've showed up to every like meeting, table
Yeah.
read, all that, and it just
Yeah.
it sucked that I wasn't able to get what I wanted out of it. I guess a little bit. I didn't get
Yeah.
to play that
Yeah.
character. I didn't get to see it go throughout.
Yeah.
But
Did
that's
you
what
ever get
hooked
to
me.
play it?
I
Like,
never
did
got to
they
play
bring
that
it back?
role. They
No. They
scrapped the
never.
entire play,
Damn. They
unfortunately.
never. They
There
never.
was
Wow.
there was so much hard work into it, and I feel so bad for all of the writers, the casting directors, the
Oh, that's
teacher.
terrible. Yeah.
By the end, people were like, "This is stupid. We're just not going to do it if people don't want to show the work." And I was like, "Yeah, that's bullshit. Why aren't these people showing the work?"
Yeah.
That's what got me hooked into acting. So then my next year, grade 10, that's when I decided to take a drama course, right? And of course, I
Awesome.
didn't take the grade 9, whatever, so I had no idea what we were doing. I had no
Right.
idea what the class was going
Yeah.
to be about.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we started doing scene work. We started learning how to create characters. We started learning all of the basics. And just from then on, I fell in love. I did do a play in grade 12. So this was my final year. Went all through high school without doing a goddamn play. But I tried. But then
Yeah.
we decided to do. Oh my god, what is it called? Midsummer Night's Dream,
Oh, cool. Yeah.
right?
I
So
love
we
that.
decided to do Midsummer Night's Dream, and we
Yeah.
did auditions, and our teacher picked out characters for us to play.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to play Oberon, the Fairy King, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was like Loki, like he's this big authoritative character, right? He's the
Yeah.
king of like the entire like of all the fairies in the forest,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And it was such an honor to be able to play him and to play somebody so like real at the same time. He was somebody that was so passionate and so in love, and he had so much weight to carry on his shoulders.
Yeah.
And working with the people I got to work with, a couple of friends and everything in that specific scene, it really did also bring us like closer together, and like
Yeah.
working together, like just being us and like hanging out after school, whatever. It kind of brought we brought that energy into our characters as well, which is really
Yeah.
nice. One thing that was a little embarrassing, we got to choose our own wardrobe, and I don't know
Okay.
why, but I decided to be shirtless for it. Like I had like a little vest on and it like matching like green pants, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was so stupid. People would not stop talking about how I was shirtless during the school play, and I was like, "Thank you for never letting that down." Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
Appreciate it.
god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got a picture of me in the school Instagram that I went to high school, and I'm there. I'm there, and I'm shirtless somewhere. I'm not gonna tell people where I went to school though. But no, it was a really fun production, and it was so beautiful. Like the set deck and everything was so great. And that was the first time I really got to show off my skill with the rest of my classmates, and we really got to do something serious. And after that, and after finding out I couldn't do what I wanted to do, I was like, okay, let's actually give this a try. Let's go to school. Let's get some more training in,
Yeah.
and let's see if like it works out. Let's see if I can actually do this, right? And
Yeah,
it almost
that's
became a bit of like a therapy too, right?
Yeah.
Playing all these different characters, getting to lash out sometimes, getting to play big emotions, like it's freeing, you know.
Yeah.
You do have to
Yeah.
look like an idiot sometimes, but it's a good
Yeah.
feeling. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a thing of becoming comfortable in the uncomfortable. Is that the
Right.
saying? Which sort of ties into not being afraid to fail. Um, yeah, I love that though. So you sort of went to actually, did you go to Toronto Film School right out of high school? Because you're like a year or two younger than me.
Right. Yeah. Not right out of high school.
Not right.
So, I was still like in that moment. I was still trying to debate what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
Quarter life crisis, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was working in construction because I knew
Okay.
I wanted to go to school for something. I just didn't
Yeah.
know what. So I
Yeah.
started saving up. I worked as a laborer for masons, like stone and brick layers.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
And then Toronto Film School called me. They were
Oh.
like, "Hey, we saw like 2 years ago, you were looking at our website," and I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Well, do you want to enroll?" And I was like, "Yeah, maybe. Fuck, why not?" Right? So I'm like, whatever. It's like I did some more research on it. I saw that it's one of the best film and television schools in Toronto to go to
In all of Canada.
in all of
if I'm not
Canada,
mistaken.
which is
Yeah.
insane. And yeah, I was like, you know what? This actually does look pretty fun. This looks like something I would want to put my energy and my money towards.
Yeah.
So I kept saving up. I talked a little bit more with, I believe her name was Stephanie. She was kind of helping me with like getting everything in. I was like, it was only $100 to apply for the school anyways. Let's see how we do. So I did the audition.
Yeah.
I did the reports. I did the kind of get to know me. And she says like, Hart Massey, which is the director of the acting program specifically, she said that he saw my audition pretty much to get into the school, and
Yeah.
he fell in love with it, and
Oh, that's
I
cool.
did really well. So that was a really nice feeling. I'm
Yeah.
sure they tell that to everybody, but it was a really nice feeling.
I was just gonna
You're
say.
right.
Yeah.
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 It's not actually too hard to get into the school, but
No, unfortunately not. You know, and actually spending some time on that, I know I've talked to some other people about that, but I think, or I mean, I'm hopeful that they've sort of made that process of getting into the school a little more difficult. Well, because, you know, again, something I've brought up before, and I'm not going to name any names, but I mean, you might remember there were a few people in our class that maybe either didn't want to be there or weren't ready to
yeah.
be there.
Yeah, and you get
And
that
I
with
think-
any school, right? You get that with
Yeah.
any class, any school you go to. But
Yeah,
yeah, of
yeah.
course, you're gonna have some people like that.
Yeah. And yeah, that's a fair point to say that you'll get that in more places than just Toronto Film School. But I think when we were there, right, and sort of touching base on like, so how you said like Hart Massey says that to like everyone, right?
Yeah.
I think when we were going, it was more or less about the money. Now that might be a hot take. It was more or less about like, just give us our money, give us your money, and you know, you learn how to act and you get whatever you get from it. Now, I've heard they've made those changes where actually the audition process to get into the school is actually much more serious than it was, where they actually critique it. If I'm not mistaken, they actually, like really watch it and really consider like whether this person is ready to go to the school. So, and I think that's just really important because like, and that's not throwing shade. That's not talking shit to anybody. Like that's realistically, like deep down, I think that's just really important for the individual themselves, right? Because if they're not ready for it, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Take some fucking acting classes, right? Get the groundwork going, and then when you are ready, then like you're ready, like then you go, because this is a big life commitment, right? This is like fucking $40,000 to learn how to fucking act, and if you're not ready to take on that responsibility, I feel like I'm getting so like, I don't know how to word it, but like if you're just not ready, like it's just it's a $40,000 commitment, really, summing it up, right? And if you are not prepared to make that $40,000 worth it, save your money, save your time, and save other people's time as well. Like just being frank, like just,
No, I get it. Like $40,000 is a lot of money. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Some people, they just didn't have the right passion, or maybe they just didn't have the vision of what they could do. And a lot of Toronto Film School is you have to be so compromising, right? You have to compromise about a lot of different things, but you have to be there with the mindset that I'm here to learn. I don't know fuck all right now about the industry, about acting. I don't know anything. Like, it doesn't matter how much experience you've had before going to that school. Yeah. If you're paying $40,000 to sit in a classroom and have people tell you how you can progress, you need to be willing to hear them out. You need to internalize it, and then you need to learn from that. If you're not going to do that, if you're going to go to a $40,000 acting school and you're going to do your scene, do your little fucking voice acting, whatever, and the instructor's going to say, try it like this, and then you're going to, like, argue with them. Yeah. And I've seen this with multiple people. I've seen multiple students do this, and I get it. Like, you have a vision of how you wanted to do things, and you're told, like, it's not right.
It's hard.
You have to be compromising. Like, you should not argue with the instructors. At least not yet. You're not at
especially
that
when you're
level.
new. Yeah.
Especially when you're new, right? Like, if
I don't know, if Leonardo DiCaprio was like, if I'm directing him and he's like, has all these ideas, well, then I feel like I just got to pay my due diligence. I got to pay my respects and be like, you are the fucking one of the goats of acting. So like him, I would be like, yeah, you can kind of find your own way. But yeah, for sure, like what you're saying, just about when you're new, it's like trust the people that you are learning from, I guess.
Trust the people, like trust the process. And I think you do have, as an actor, this is so weird, you have to look at it from a director's perspective. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is their project, this isn't your project. You're here to learn, you're here to make their vision come to life. You know what I mean? So you have to take that criticism, you have to run with it. Yeah. A lot of people are uncompromising to that, and it's just, it's whatever. But yeah, no, like, if like our acting instructors were to tell somebody on their same level, or even somebody higher than them, if our acting instructors were to tell them how to do something differently, and they argue with them back, that is completely fucking normal. We don't get that privilege, not yet, at least. You know what I mean? Like, we're still out here, we're still learning.
Yeah. One of the mindsets that I love the most is sort of realizing that, like, I mean, it sounds kind of pessimistic, if this is the right word, but realizing that you're never going to be a master at something, right? You're always learning, ever evolving learning, right? You can get good at something and, I don't know, be advanced, I guess you could say, but like, I don't know, like, I mean, bringing up Leonardo DiCaprio again, like, there are things that I'm sure he still learns day to day. Yeah, he's been acting for his fucking whole life probably, but like, yeah, I think that if you have that sort of humbling mindset, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
Where you're not better than anybody else. You're always willing to learn and see different perspectives. I think that's just you're going to excel in whatever you do that pertains to acting, fucking any industry, you know, anything, right? If you are always willing to collaborate and learn, yeah, that's
No, 100%.
really
If you
gonna.
can't stay humble
Mhm.
while still learning your craft, and you will always be learning in the acting industry specifically. Um,
Yeah,
no, you need to stay humble. You need to
yeah,
understand there's other ways to look at things that you might not have seen before. And even Leonardo DiCaprio, like, because we're bringing him up so much, I love this guy. I just yesterday saw his new movie.
oh yeah, I've been meaning to see it. I haven't yet, but
So great, and like a couple of his movies recently have been comedic. So I know
yeah,
Leonardo DiCaprio before that, it was all serious,
like
dramatic
dramatic, yeah.
roles. And
Yeah,
he was one of the best, one of the
yeah,
greatest. Absolutely. But now
yeah,
he's been moving on to comedy, so you really have to think, well, did he get it right away? I don't think
yeah,
so. Because
yeah,
Leonardo DiCaprio, he didn't usually do comedy like that.
right,
And so I think
yeah,
that was something new he had to learn and something he had to be humble about to truly get. And I
yeah,
know, like, actors, like the greats right now, they still have acting coaches. They still have
yeah,
coaches for accents. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
voice coaches. So
yeah,
if you're not willing, if you stop your willingness to learn in this industry, that's when you die.
yeah,
That's, when you're not humble,
yeah,
when you're not
yep,
willing to learn, that's when the career kind of disappears a little bit.
yep, exactly. I 100% agree. Yeah, because no one wants to work with a know-it-all, right? Um,
Right.
so yeah, 100%, 100%. I kind of talking about how um, like Leonardo has kind of gone down the comedy route recently. I particularly love that in actors, just in general, when you see like a certain actor that's like does these type of movies, and then they're in this like different movie that's like totally different from any other movie they've ever done. Like I'm
It's like
pretty
a
sure,
completely different genre.
yeah. I think if I'm not mistaken, Chris Pratt. There's a new movie with him coming out, where it's more serious, and as you probably know, he's more into like sort of the kind of comedic stuff.
Comedic. He's been doing a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
animation, a
yeah,
lot of like
yeah,
kid
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah. I don't remember what the movie's called. Fuck, I'm terrible, but and I don't think it's out either. I just saw the trailer.
Okay, sick.
But yeah, it was more like a serious, dramatic role, and I think that's just really cool to see um, actors doing that because I mean, you get to see them in a different way that you haven't before, and it really tests you as an actor. It tests your ability to like expand your range and everything like that.
Exactly, yeah.
Um,
It gives a
you
lot more
know,
depth. It gives a lot more
yeah,
range.
yeah,
And actors who can pull that off, like, oh my God. Like, I,
yeah.
I remember, like, trying to do different genres in Toronto Film School.
Mhm.
Comedy specifically, too.
Comedy is
People
so
don't realize this.
fucking
It's
hard.
so fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's actually, like, it is one of the hardest genres to actually get
Yes.
into. If you're not
Yeah.
naturally funny, if you're not
Yeah.
naturally comfortable in
Yeah.
front of that camera,
Yeah.
you're not getting to where you need to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Which I mean, and I'm gonna say this next thing, and I'm gonna preface by saying that I'm not trying to be like, all high and mighty and fucking I'm the best, but it does make me feel good that there has been many people that have said that I have great comedic timing, and I think that comedic timing is very important, because a lot of the times, and this I well you can say this for fucking acting and just in general, but like it's a lot of it's not so much about the words you're saying, it's more about like how you are saying those fucking words,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
um so like, and that's sort of what I mean about comedic timing, is that like you could be talking about something that wouldn't necessarily be funny, I guess, but if you just sort of perform it in that sort of specific way and time it properly, um it can really
No,
change
I
the
get that.
tone. Yeah,
Like to give
yeah,
like a visual, like Will Ferrell, in
yeah,
any movie he's ever done, when he gets progressively angrier, somehow, I don't fucking
yeah,
know how, it gets
yeah,
progressively funnier. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
he's the
exactly.
only man that can actually do that on planet
Yeah,
Earth, which is
yeah,
like you hear him like argue or get loud or whatever, and then as he gets louder, angrier, starts fucking swearing more.
yeah,
You're on your you can't breathe. Like
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know how he does it, but like
yeah,
it's all about his timing. It's all about the way he portrays it. It's all about just the way it comes out. It's just so natural to him too, right?
Like Step Brothers,
Insane.
for example. What a fucking, oh my god.
And there's so many examples in that movie alone of where it just like where he does that, right? Like,
Yeah. I rub my balls on your drum set.
yeah, it's like you're gonna write us a fucking check. Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
No, there's something about that man where he cracked it. You know what I mean? Or
yeah.
I don't know if it's something he learned along the way. I don't know if that's just how he is as a person and what he was naturally born with.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
a
think
lot
we
of
all
that,
have that sort of like thing, that gift to us all that, you
Yeah.
know.
that archetype, you know, like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
one. I get that. And
Yeah.
with like our comedy, I think the timing was done so well. But also, like, I have to give congratulations to you when you did your own editing, like that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it was 10 times funnier once I saw the final product of the Great Oreo Debate. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that was a while ago too.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
I was actually like sort of hesitant to bring that up because, well, for multiple reasons. Because I don't know if you knew this, but I wrote that script in a matter of an hour at a Starbucks. It was literally like, I think the day that the script was supposed to be like due. Yeah, I just fucking opened up the script writing software. What is that called? Final Draft or something like that?
Final draft, yeah.
And yeah, I just
And just put magic on a page, man. Absolutely, it was so great.
it was so stupid though.
No,
Like,
it was perfect.
was-
It's like
yeah.
say your piece, say your piece.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we are all self-critical. Like anything we do, I mean, at least for me, like fucking, not that I'm like negative towards myself, but I just have this sort of standard to myself where like I just feel like anything I can do, I always ask myself, well, how did I do with that? Can I do better? And I think just for the fact that I just like whipped it up, you know, within that hour, I feel like I could have done better. But that's not to say that it was bad. I did enjoy the process, and obviously like having you as the castmate, whatever the word is, it was that much better because like, and I wrote that scene when I was writing it. I had you in mind because
Shut
I think
up.
we have that fucking dynamic of like the brotherly. Well, actually, I don't know if we were we brothers or best friends. Do you remember?
Oh man, we
No,
were
I don't even know
both.
if we
Don't
fucking.
even. But like, I just think like we were so like honestly like the vibes we were giving each other, like we kind of fed off of each other. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
when we get excited about something, we just get fucking excited about something. When we get pissed off about something, we'll rile each other up about it. Like I think that was always the dynamic we had, and I think that's both like brotherly love, and that's also just like a strong friendship. You know, where you
Yeah.
can actually like. I don't know how to explain it. You know, you feel an emotion, and you don't know if it's right, but then you got your buddy over here amping it up to like an 11, and then you get fucking psyched. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
talking shit. I don't know what I'm saying right now, but I would say we were definitely brothers, man. Like
Yeah.
it did feel like that. And I appreciated being on that set so much. It was such a great time. I'm so glad I went down there.
Yeah.
But I also I wanted to say, people always say like they think they could have done better with their writing or their acting or performances, whatever. But I think if you take too much time, and I think if you think about it for too long, it starts to turn into something you didn't want in the first place. You know what I mean? Like you can put so much time and focus into one thing, and then it kind of loses its power.
Yeah.
So I think there is something special about finding comedy specifically in the moment.
Yeah.
You know, because if you think too hard on a joke, if you think too hard on anything comedic, it can ruin it.
Yeah.
So I think
Yep.
just writing it down it made it what it was. It made it so special. But like it was like your typical like stoner comedy.
Yeah.
So great. It was so good.
Yeah. I loved it. I did enjoy it. I think so this is an interesting sort of topic that if that was, I guess you could say, real life, and say like that story continued, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, like the way we ended it was didn't we split it or something like that? Which is so fucking stupid.
No, the way we ended it was I asked you to do like rock paper scissors or something
Yeah,
over
yeah,
something else. Like we were debating over this Oreo cookie
yeah,
over like who should get it or some shit. And then we were like, let's cut it. And then it's
yeah,
like, well, who's gonna go get the fucking knife? So it was kind of like a bit of a continuation of us
yeah,
just
yeah,
debating over
yeah.
dumb shit.
Just a constant debate, just one after another.
Yeah.
Man,
Man,
who
if it continued.
who would like? And yeah, I know we didn't spend a ton of time on this scene, but um, who do you think was winning debates more, or who would win debates more?
Oh, listen, like your character would win the debate, but my character wouldn't let it go. So
There you
you'd
go.
keep
I like that.
winning every argument, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But like my character just would not give up on it until he found something that made him win. But it would never come. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So there was
yeah.
always a debate, there was always something going on. I feel like my character would be a really good lawyer.
Mm.
But I think your character would just be like so simple, not simple, but like so to the point and just
Okay, yeah,
obviously
yeah,
like in the right, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Um, I guess I don't know. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Just leave it at that. I'm not
It really
gonna,
was.
not gonna, not gonna go any deep into that. Kind of moving on, I guess. The I don't know. Where can we go from here? Fuck's sake. The Great Oreo Debate. We fucking talked about that. I'm just looking through all my fucking notes, to be honest. Like,
No, you're so good. You're so
um,
good.
man, I don't know. Taking a
Great Oreo
more
debate's great.
real approach, taking a more real deep dive. I know I kind of dipped into this when I was talking about the, like with what I said, about grad night, mental health stuff. I know that's something that you had said that, um, something you enjoy talking about is men's mental health. And when I read that, when I read that you put that down, I was like, fuck yes, this is going to be awesome. Because I don't know if you know that about me, but I am a huge mental health advocate, particularly for men's mental health. And that's not to say that like women's mental health is not important, but
Right.
fucking the way I see it is that men, I mean, like, I'm gonna somewhat quote that UFC fighter. Fuck, I'm blanking on his name, but like, he's like, there is a stigma with like men of like fucking uh of pretty much having to push down their feelings and be macho and be tough and like, you know, you got to be the man, right? You know, but men have feelings too, and men have issues, right? You know, I mean, like getting super deep and you know, men are like the number one, or it's like the number one most cause of death, or whatever the word is, or however I word it.
Yeah.
And I think that just comes from a lot of like men don't talk because I feel like a lot of people are like, well, they wouldn't care or they wouldn't listen. Um, so, what are your, I guess, yeah, inviting you into the convo. Like, what are your thoughts on it? Like, what do you
I
like to
think
talk about with this?
like with men's mental health specifically,
Yeah,
I think like almost from off the bat, men are kind of, you know, conditioned to
yeah,
not talk about their feelings. And they
hmm
like from the start, you know, men don't really think about that. You know, they don't really think like, "Oh, I'm suppressing my feelings, blah blah blah," when they're like young.
yeah,
But then once they get older and once they notice that they don't talk about it, that's when
yeah,
it kind of, you know, that's when it hits. It's like I'm going through all these problems. I didn't even think to like talk about them, but that's just because that's how life is. And I think that's
yeah,
also because people don't speak out about it. Men don't speak out about it. That's why they have a higher rate of suicide,
yeah,
unfortunately. I don't know if I can
yeah.
say that word. You can blank me out. But like
You can say
it's
that word.
it is,
I
thank
already
God.
said it.
It's tough. You know what I mean? Like that's why with all my projects, sorry, give me a second.
Yep, all good.
With with all, well, most of my projects in Toronto Film School, a lot of it was trying to bring awareness to men's mental health and
That's cool.
them just not talking about it enough. Like
Yeah,
the final scene, like our term six final project, I did a short scene, and the scene was about a man going through all these mental health problems,
Mm.
anxiety, depression,
Yeah.
anger issues,
Yeah.
all of these things, and it wasn't talked about, and so it led to a more difficult situation when his wife cheated on him, and that kind of brought a lot of stuff out and made
Okay.
everything
Yeah.
worse. Anyways, but I think men refuse to speak out about their mental problems, and they
Yeah.
refuse to speak about how hurt they are because they don't want to seem weak
Yeah.
in front of the people in their lives.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I've struggled with a lot is, and like, if you feel comfortable sharing as well, by all means, but if not, totally okay. Um, for me, like, I've always felt that if I talk to some people, and that's not everybody, but if and sorry, I shouldn't say always. I've previously have thought, um, that I was being a burden, that I was being a pain, that I was, you know, um, and I don't know if that's because I'm like male specifically, or if that's just mental health in general. But um, yeah, that's sort of my sort of take on it. That it's hard to open up because, like you said, you don't want to be perceived as weak, because that's just sort of what society has built the idea of a man. They're not weak. So it's hard, right? And I think, I don't know, like the sort of going back to like the vulnerability in acting, like just being vulnerable in general, just in everyday life, like that is also fucking difficult because that, I mean, vulnerability and weakness kind of go together in some ways. Um, yeah, yeah. How do you balance sort of your acting and maintaining like a good mental state, good mental well being?
That's actually um, that's so crazy because we had a project about what is like the most challenging part about acting for you and why, right?
Yeah,
And so I decided like I haven't been vulnerable that much. This was in term one though.
yeah.
I kind of had that mask on, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
just meeting
Mm-hmm.
everybody.
Yeah,
But then I thought, all right, like I'm here in Toronto Film School specifically to learn how to become vulnerable and to
yeah.
learn how to become a great actor from it and how to better myself because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked the question, how are you able to play a character, right,
Mm-hmm.
without well, I asked myself like how could you be a character without being vulnerable? And they told me you can't. You have to
Yeah,
open up. You have to be
yeah,
that person.
yeah.
And it just like it fucking scares the shit out of you. You know what I mean? Because like you
Mm-hmm.
have all this like you have this fucked up mental state that you
Yeah,
were taught not to talk about
yeah,
and to keep buried. And now people are
yeah,
telling you to open up about it after your entire life of packing it down. And I think that statement of I feel like I'm a burden to everybody, that goes for anybody. Like it's not
yeah,
just men. It's
yeah,
anybody in the world.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and that's where it hits. It's like you kind of ask yourself like am I worthy of being here? Am I good enough to be here? Am
Mm-hmm.
I in the way? Are people better off if I'm out of their lives, right?
Yeah,
And I've of course like I've had like the same questions about myself. I've had the same kind of like mental block a little bit, but
yeah,
then I realized strength isn't hiding your vulnerabilities. It's not hiding what's wrong with you. Strength is opening up about it. Strength is working on yourself so you can overcome it,
yeah,
not shelter it.
yeah,
And it's been a really hard journey, especially through acting school, especially through like relationships and just
yeah,
life itself and like relationships. I say like your family, all of your
yeah,
friends,
yeah,
and of course girlfriends, whatever. It really kind of brings you back to asking that question. But overcoming it, the only way I feel like you can truly overcome it is by opening up about it. If you
Yeah.
can't, then you're going to keep it locked in forever.
Yeah.
If you tell yourself that you can't be vulnerable, then you're not going to be vulnerable, and then it's going
Yeah.
to eat you up,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. Like for me personally, like going to therapy has really helped. Um, like I go, well, I'm starting to go again, all the time just because, I mean, I think for me, like even if you don't particularly have a specific thing that's bothering you, I think it's just very good. I mean, everybody live their life the way they want, but like, I think it's very good for anyone to go to therapy because it really helps you sort of, make sense of what's all going on up here, um, so it's very good, very nice. And I mean, me specifically, like I'm someone, and this is, how do I word this? Um, I fuck, like I don't have any issue with like embarrassing myself, I guess you could say, um, like I don't get embarrassed that easily. Obviously, I do, but not a ton. So I'll say, and the reason why I'm saying that is, um, like I'll talk to myself a lot, and that is surprisingly fucking pretty good therapy. Now, I'm not saying it's as good as talking to an actual like professional therapist, but like it's helped me a lot. Like where I'll just like literally sit down and I'll just be like, just it sounds crazy to sort of say it out loud, but like, and I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like just to like kind of just sit there and just be by yourself in your like be present to yourself and like um I literally, it's as if I'm having a conversation with someone, and it sounds crazy, but it really does help, um, to because it really just gets your thoughts flowing and everything like that, and then you start to wonder things, and maybe you can work that out like on your own, or I don't know, you know what I'm saying, right?
No, absolutely.
Um,
Like, yeah. When it comes to talking to yourself, you know what I mean? You
yeah,
have to look at it, what you said, you have to look at it like you're talking to somebody else.
yeah,
I recently came to this new mentality where it's, would I ever talk to somebody the way I talk to myself?
I love
Because
that. Yeah,
I used to be very, very hard on myself. And
yeah,
that brought me to a very emotional state where I was like, no, I could never hurt somebody like that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
doing that to somebody, saying what I'm saying to myself to somebody else, would devastate me, them, and everybody else around.
yeah,
And that was something truly powerful that kind of brought me to a new mentality of, okay, I need to start showing love for myself. I can't expect anybody else to show me the love that I crave,
yeah.
without convincing myself that I'm worthy of that love. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
So, yeah, I had to start talking to myself, the way I would talk to my friends, the way I would talk
Yeah.
to somebody on the street.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I had to
Hmm.
be very open about that to myself. That's when I started to truly heal.
Yeah.
That's when I started being okay with being on my own. That's when I
Yeah.
started deciding to work on myself, not for anybody else, but just so I could be happy with myself. And then it's step by step by step where you start becoming more and more okay, open with yourself, feeling better about yourself. But it has to start with showing love and patience to yourself.
Yeah.
It's a hard feat to cross. It really
Yeah.
is.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes, like sometimes you still have those nights where you kind of go back to it a little bit, but you get that chance to build back up again, and it's kind
Hmm.
of like it's nice. It's hard to fall back down, but it's even nicer to step back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fall 7 times, get up 8, as I heard Denzel Washington say. Um. Yeah. I love that. Love that. You had mentioned that you are sort of shifting gears. You are more. You're kind of an adrenaline junkie. Um. Which, so you're gonna have to enlighten me here. obviously I've heard of people being adrenaline junkies, but what does that mean exactly?
Being an adrenaline junkie is
Yeah.
just like wanting to take literally anything and everything to the extreme. That's what it means to me. So I'm an
Okay.
adrenaline junkie because I love doing crazy shit. It makes me feel alive. It makes me
Yeah.
feel invincible a little bit, which is
Cool.
it's crazy to say, but like once you do something that scares the shit out of you, you
Yeah.
feel like you can conquer the world. I
Yeah.
think this started from when I was very young. My dad used to just tell me, "Oh, Kaden, go jump off that cliff." And young me's thinking, "Oh, well, my dad knows everything, so I know I'm not
Ah.
going to get hurt. Let's do it, whatever." And ever since I was young, I would just be like, "Okay, Dad," and I would go do the craziest shit. Kaden, go do a backflip off the shed. Okay, Dad. Like, go jump off this cliff into the water with rocks below. Okay, Dad. And then ever since doing that, I've just kind of like I've been like attuned to it. I've been in love with it, like doing shit that scares me and kind of like increasing it a little bit. So like I've like ever since I was young, I used to do like oh my god, what's it called? Like I've done a lot of rock climbing. I've done
Oh, cool.
like crazy height like courses and everything, kind of like obstacle courses. I've done like base jumping and shit, which is pretty cool.
What's base jumping?
Well, not base jumping, sorry, like scaling. No, like I guess like mountain scaling. I don't know. It's kind of where like you start off from like a high peak of like a edge or a ledge or a mountain or some shit, and you kind of like it's like reverse rock climbing. You kind of go down it, right?
Oh, okay.
But like you're not supposed to kind of just like use your harness and fall down. You kind of got like climb down. You kind of got like find crazy ways to get down. It's insane. I've definitely cut myself up from doing it and stuff, but it's really
Oh no.
fun. I want to like even move up the ranks. I want to go. I want to go skydiving. I want to go scuba diving. I want to do all these crazy adrenaline rushing
Yeah.
activities. But like, I am also unfortunately kind of limited to what I can do specifically as a type 1 diabetic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because once you go into like a pressure change, if that's underwater or like I don't know, like 40,000 feet above the sky, like you're gonna have some problems with your diabetes, unfortunately.
Oh. So do you have problems anytime you like fly somewhere?
No, actually, I've only flown once, so like I've never
Oh,
actually
okay.
really been on planes too much. I haven't
Yeah.
had anything happen to me, but it's just the fact like it can, right? So you
Oh,
gotta be
okay. Right.
ready.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah.
once you're in the sky, you can't really do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I've been doing crazy shit ever since I was like before kindergarten,
Mm.
right? So I'm always wanting to take things to the extreme. I'm always wanting to do something that scares me. You
Yeah.
know, do something that scares you every day. That would be really fun, and it makes
Yeah.
me proud of myself that like I can get through
Yeah.
certain things like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hell yeah. And okay, so kind of um, touching base again more with the with living with diabetes. Um, how does that impact your lifestyle? Like you had mentioned, how like you're sort of limited to in some ways, and it's a very hard hitting question. So I always do like to say when I ask these type of questions that if it's too much, by all means, just keep it brief or just don't say anything at all. But yeah, if you are comfortable with it, like how I don't know, like maybe, well, okay, so going way back, is diabetes something you were you not born with it or you were?
So like, I'm a type 1 diabetic, right?
Okay,
And most people say you're born with it, right? But type 1
okay,
diabetes, it's like it's your immune system attacking your pancreas until it can no longer produce insulin cells.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So technically, I was born with it, but
You
I
were?
didn't. Yeah, I wasn't
Oh,
diagnosed with
okay.
type 1 diabetes until I was 6 years old. So I've
Oh,
kind of had
okay.
diabetes my entire life.
Right.
So a lot of people like they always ask me like, how does it change your lifestyle? How does it do it? It
Yeah.
didn't really change my
It didn't
lifestyle
because
because
yeah, it's
it happened from so young. But it
yeah,
also did in like certain aspects. Like you're a
yeah.
6 year old kid, you're told you can no longer binge on candy.
Eh,
You're told you have to keep track of like your blood sugar levels, like your glucose levels. You
yeah,
have to be mindful of what you're eating. You have to diet. You have to
yeah, yeah.
be active and do
Right.
all these things. And it's kind of like you have to look out for yourself on day one. and you just can't stop it.
That's
You know what I
difficult
mean?
for a young child to do, for sure.
It really is, yeah.
Do
Yeah,
you
it's
remember if like was it I don't know if you ever went trick or treating, you know, like was it difficult to like see other kids eating all that candy and you're just like, damn.
yeah, so some things were really tough. So Halloween specifically, it was a lot of like I got to go out. I got to go and collect
Okay.
all the candy.
Yeah,
That
cool.
was fun. I got to dress
Yeah.
up. But when you get home, right?
Yeah.
It's you can't eat the entire bag of candy. You have fucking
Mm,
diabetes. It's like,
yeah.
well, what was the point of going out, working my ass off for like 2, 3
Yeah.
hours, getting all this
Yeah.
candy, looking cute as shit?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, your sister, right? I have a sister. My
Yeah.
sister got to do all of that fun stuff and then
Yeah.
eat the candy afterwards.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what the fuck? What's
Yeah.
this all about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it did suck in certain aspects. Like, I wasn't allowed to do a lot of things that people are allowed to do. Like, I can't do skydiving. I can't eat
Oh, is
wherever
it
I
because of the
want
pressure
and not think
you
about it.
were
It's because
mentioning?
like the pressure and everything, you know?
Oh, I didn't know that
Um,
about diabetes. That
yeah,
pressure stuff had to
yeah.
do with
Even
it.
weather can affect it. Like heat.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It can drain you like crazy. It's
So if it
insane.
gets like massively cold, it's like a fucking crazy snowstorm. Like,
Actually, the
how,
cold doesn't. I like for me specifically, the cold hasn't really affected
oh, okay, it's
my
more
diabetes, which is nice. But like the heat, it will
the heat.
exhaust me a lot, and then
Really?
like I can drop, like my glucose levels will like drop. It's
Oh wow,
insane.
way. Wow.
But yeah, yeah. No, as a kid, like I remember, I remember when I was being diagnosed with diabetes, I was rushed
Yeah.
to the hospital. It was an emergency because of it. And I remember them telling me as they were taking all of this blood from me to do tests that don't worry, after this we will get you a popsicle because you're doing so well. And it was like
Yeah.
late at night when they did this. This was like 2, 3 in the morning, right? And they had to
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
me up. They had to take all my blood. And by the
Yeah.
end of it, you know, I was like, all right, we're done. Let's do this. And I was like, let's go get my popsicle. I'm so psyched. And they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, crazy news, dude. I was such like I was their bravest soldier, all because I wanted a popsicle. And they're like, "Oh yeah, we forgot about that.
Yeah.
You can't have that popsicle actually right now." I was
Just
like, "Dude,
betrayal.
what the fuck?" Right? Like, you can't tell that to a kid. That's
Yeah.
devastating to them, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they started introducing needles to me, and my entire life became, you know, I was like a pincushion, right? I had to constantly take insulin. I had to constantly test my glucose. The only way you could test your glucose back then was by like pricking your finger and like bleeding and like putting it onto a strip. This whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like now diabetes, like it is hard, and it was really hard too with like mental health as well. It's like, well, I don't like I never asked for this. Like, why
Yeah.
do I have to like take care of myself when I can barely take care of myself emotionally or mentally? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And like it can make you spiral. It can make things so much worse. And it's like you really
Yeah.
do like you have to be on top of it. So I've been a diabetic since I was 6, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, so it's been a while, right?
And you're what, 21, 22 now?
I'm 21 now. Yeah, I just turned in
21.
September.
Cool. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, but now I'm like really on top of it. I'm really like,
That's good.
listen, I have to get this straight before I can get anything else straight. It's
Yeah.
number one. Like I don't want to lose a limb because of my
Yeah,
diabetes.
exactly, right,
You know what
right,
I mean?
right.
Like
Yeah.
especially with the career I've chosen, what I want to do with my life, like that that's worse than anything else, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's very good. Very good that you're you know, very on top of it because you know, like you said, it's something that could result in getting a fucking leg amputated or something like that. You know, if you
Yeah.
are sort of naive to the whole diabetic stuff.
Absolutely.
But yeah, cool. We've gotten deep, nostalgic, all that stuff. Let's wrap it up with something sort of fun, lighthearted. My signature rapid fire questions. This is something that I do with all my guests. It's just something just kind of fun, just to kind of wrap up the episode. I will tell you everything that I tell every one of my guests, that yes, this is rapid fire. But if you have any kind of sort of thoughts onto how you can expand on the answer, by all means, don't hold back. But if it is just a quick one-liner, all friggin' good. Starting it off strong. And I know we were already talking a lot about this, but if you had the opportunity to be cast as any MCU superhero, who would it be?
Oh my god. Oh, I actually don't even. Spider-Man. Oh my god, he's so
Spider-Man.
cool.
Yeah.
Like you can't even like I've seen Tom Holland's like behind the scenes of his new movie recently, and they're doing practical effects where he's like swinging and shit.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, he
like
did
he's
get into a
actually.
bit of an accident, which really sucks. But
Oh yeah.
like doing that is number one. Like you can't do that as like Iron Man or Thor. You know, like they're
Yeah.
flying around. Like you can't do a
Yeah.
practical effect with that,
Yeah.
right? So
I love that.
Spider-Man, 100%. Like he's also just such a widely loved character, and it would be such an honor to play somebody with that much depth
Yeah.
and character.
Hell yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Theater or film?
Theater,
Theater. Why?
100%. Theater.
Just because I'm
It's
curious.
you can really bring out more raw emotion, you know, and it's you play it all the way through. You know, when it
Really?
comes to film, you can be doing certain different scenes and different like timelines,
Yeah.
and it's usually like, of course, people try and get it all in the same timeline
Yeah.
from start to finish, but
Yeah.
with a play, it's 100%. In theater, you're going through the entire play from start to
Yeah.
finish,
Yeah.
which is it takes a lot more work, it takes a lot more passion and energy, but it's so much more worth it in the
Yeah.
end. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna so I'm gonna chime in on my opinion on that. And first I want to say that is I agree with you. In a way, but I was also gonna say sort of the opposite.
Oh yeah.
Um, I love theater, but I do prefer film and TV. And the reason for me is that I do feel that it's more intimate and it's more real. Whereas theater, it's more performative, right? It can be real,
Yeah.
but I mean, you're performing to the stage, you're having to project your voice, right? Whereas theater, like the camera is right fucking, or film, I meant to say, it's the camera is like in sometimes like literally right in your fucking face, and you are just having to just be as real as fucking possible. So that's what I really appreciate about film. And that's sort of more on like the dramatic side of things. I mean, just drama in general, drama acting is like fucking so much better, I think, just because it's easier
Yeah.
and it resonates with more people. But yeah, that's sort of my take on that. Moving on, what's one actor you'd love to work with? And this could be anybody that has ever existed or still exists.
Any actor I could work with
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
I would love to work with Ryan Gosling. I think he
Well, you're like the same fucking person.
No, listen, like I'm not going to agree to that. I think he is such like just like a funny person, and I think every single character he plays, he puts so much just raw passion into.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I really do feel like just working alongside him, I could learn so much more
Yep.
just by quietly observing, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
being in a scene with Ryan Gosling, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it would be like I could do any scene with that man. Like I could do dramatic, I could do
Yeah.
comedic, I could do
Yeah.
like horror, who
He's
knows,
done
you
it
know?
all.
He's
From the
done it all.
Notebook to the fucking to Barbie. You
Barbie
know what I'm
movie.
saying?
Like guy's got range. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
So I think it
Yeah.
would be really, really, really fun to work alongside him.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I'd have to say Ryan Reynolds.
Really.
The only reason for that is because I think he has just a way with his fucking words, and that sounds so kind of weird to say, I think, but like just the way like he's very I don't know, witty, is that kind of the word? Like he's very
Yeah, he's very quick wit, like
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Sort of to your point, like I think I can learn a lot from him. I think he's a great actor, but I mean, Ryan Gosling, solid answer. Solid.
Look at us, like the two
fucking
only
answer.
Canadian Ryans we would both work with.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, I'd work with other people, but that's like the fucking like off the top of my head. Yeah, yeah. Right. That or
Off the
Jim
dome,
Carrey,
number one.
and right, and I'm sure that's straight.
Oh,
That's
man.
that's still like Canadian, but
Right. I'd have to disagree with you on that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to people like Jim Carrey or
Yeah.
like Will Ferrell,
yeah,
I don't think I could keep up with them. You know, at least
Oh,
with
okay,
with
yeah.
where I'm at right now, I could
Yeah.
not keep up with like their timing, their portrayals. Like
yeah,
it would be a challenge and a half.
Yeah.
And they always keep you on your toes, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, I think Well, I don't know. Maybe I would struggle, but like I have the mindset of where like I don't know. It sounds corny, but I could do anything. So I don't know. We'll
Fair
see.
enough.
We'll see. But yeah, it could go for any time, any point in your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be right now. So that's why I had sort of brought up Jim Carrey. But what's the biggest adrenaline rush you've ever had? Is there
Oh
one
my
that
god.
sticks out to you?
We went diving off of a bridge. So in my hometown, it's private property now. You're not allowed to go over
Oh,
there. But
okay.
there was this giant bridge, and there
Mhm.
was like the shallowest creek underneath the bridge where
Oh
people
my
would go swimming, like
god.
super shallow, right? But people, back then they would always jump off of it. They jump into the water, whatever, have a good time.
Mhm.
And there was like a specific part of this creek you could not jump like in. You know what I mean? Like you had to
Yeah.
stay away. So many rocks, like shallower than the most. You would definitely break something. You
Yeah.
get impaled by a rock. You get like it was crazy. And of course, like I was younger, so I'm sure the
Mhm.
bridge looked a lot higher than what it was back then. But I
Right.
remember we were jumping off that thing all day, and then I'm like, all right, let's go for one last one before we pack up and get out of here. All the teenagers are going off the one end, right? You're not supposed to. I'm like, oh well, they're doing it. They're heavier than I am. They're not getting hit by the rocks. Let's go for it.
Oh no.
I got a little too overzealous, and when I jumped further than they did, pretty much just on the shoreline. And it looked like I was going in that exact direction. My heart stopped. I wasn't breathing, and I accepted my fate. I thought I was gonna die. It was the scariest thing ever. And then by like a fucking miracle, my body, like I didn't even like plan to do this. My body just started flailing, like freaking out. I could imagine what the people were seeing from like the bottom, but somehow I direct myself into this small like pocket where the rocks were surrounding,
Oh my
like
god.
right dead center, and survived it. I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I'm still alive right now. I think I used one of my 9 lives that day, but
Wow.
yeah, like I'm pretty sure I
Miracles
pissed
working, right?
myself mid jump.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, it was terrifying. Yeah,
Wow. That is super cool to know because that's like
yeah,
wow, that's such a specific like
so weird.
detail.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
wow,
weird.
that's
Yeah, there was
so
another
cool.
time when my friend like flipped and rolled a car, but that's whatever. That was
Oh my
fine.
god.
Yeah, he totaled it, but
Oh no.
yeah,
That's
no, it was
terrible.
crazy. That was a good time.
Your favorite Toronto spot?
My favorite
What,
Toronto spot. Oh my
yeah, like
god.
what's the best place to be in
My
Toronto?
room? Are you kidding me? No.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Actually, my favorite spot in Toronto, like number one. Oh my God. This is a good fucking question. I would say right now, my favorite spot in Toronto to go is Midnight Market. So
Mm,
that's like a bar to go to. They do
okay.
really good music.
Yeah, cool.
The aesthetic there is so cool. So once you walk in, it looks like a Korean or a Japanese market,
Yeah.
like an outside market, but on the
Yeah.
inside, and
Yeah.
like it is so cool. The music there uh, is really nice.
Yeah.
There's like a spot specifically for dancing and a spot for like just sitting down, chilling, whatever, which is
Cool.
great. And then they also have like a speakeasy in there where they do specialty drinks that you can't get from like the regular bar, of course, right?
Okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a good vibe all around. Everybody I've brought there so far like has fallen in love with it.
Yeah.
It's really worth it to check out. It's on College Street, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool. Cool. What's it
but
called
it's
again?
not too bad. Midnight Market.
Midnight Market.
Yeah,
Oh, cool. Cool. Well, we'll
yeah.
have to
It's
go when I'm back in the city.
no, 100%,
Yeah.
absolutely. We'll get the
100%.
group together.
Yeah. Yeah. Your dream vacation spot. I know that's such a generic fucking everybody asks that, but you know what? I'm gonna ask it anyways.
Dude, nobody asked me these questions. I feel like I should have these like preset. My favorite vacation spot or my number one vacation spot would probably be snowboarding in like Japan.
Wow. That's a
I
fucking fire answer. I
I would
love
fucking
that.
like snowboarding. I've done snowboarding before. Nothing crazy. But I remember my dad just bought me a snowboard one day, and so I started going off like some like hills and shit. He bought me the snowboard, but he didn't want me to use it because he didn't want me
Uh,
like hurting myself,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But I went off like some of the steeper like mountains and shit, or like hills or whatever, and he was like flabbergasted that I kept my balance. And then of course, like in my teenage years, I used to skateboard a lot, which was a lot harder for me, a lot more challenging. But I think I could at least try and apply that to snowboarding. I know I'm gonna hurt myself. I know if I go on any of like the obstacles or whatever, I will be wiping out. But that's just a part of the fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a part of
Yeah.
the rush.
Yeah. What if I told you I've never been snowboarding?
Do it immediately. I think as you get older, it does get harder to start. I think as a kid, you just kind of
Yeah.
naturally have that balance
Yeah.
to you,
Yeah.
that inner
Yeah.
ear,
Yeah.
and then you kind of get a little bit in your head when you get older. But start immediately, like just going down like your first hill, even if it's like the kiddie hill. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it is like it. It feels like such a feat. It feels like um, you just made that hill your bitch, right?
Yeah, I can kind
That
of
is really
see
cool.
what you're saying, sort of, because, like, I mean, it's not exactly the same thing, but like sledding was like something I loved doing as a kid.
Yeah.
So that sort of adrenaline, I guess, that you get from like fucking flying down the mount the mountain, the hill.
Yeah, the hill
Um,
wiping out like other kids as you're going down, and
yeah, fucking
yeah,
clotheslining them or whatever.
no, exactly. Yeah, if you're not from Canada or any place that snows, like that is
Yeah,
is like the
yeah,
number one thing to do. How many of your friends can you hit while going down? It's like bowling, but more fun.
exactly, right. Yeah. What's one thing people would never guess about you?
What's one thing people never guess about me? I. Oh my God, we're gonna be here for so long. Jesus Christ. Um,
If there's nothing that's like, I mean, we've talked about a lot of insider Caden scoops. Um,
no,
like
we
if you
got
could,
this.
yeah,
I am such. No, I got nothing. Let's
you got
rebound
nothing.
to it. Let me think about it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
absolutely.
Um, and last question: if you could replay the Great Oreo Debate, and forgetting about how the story was written, who is getting the last Oreo?
Who's getting the last Oreo?
Yeah,
Me, eventually. It's not because I won, right? It's not because my
because
character.
you ain't giving up. Yeah,
Yeah, it's because it's not even because I ain't giving up. I low key think after your character wins, my character would sneak the cookie.
just eat it anyways. It's like
Yeah,
fuck
my
it, who
character
cares?
would
It's mine.
not take no.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's my fucking cookie. You know, like I
yeah,
think my character decided that they were entitled to it before the
yeah,
debate even started.
yeah,
So if you won, he'd be like, nah, nah, I can't
yeah,
allow this.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mine.
no,
Get over it. Yeah.
absolutely. No, I think
Fuck yeah.
something that people don't wouldn't know about me too, so I finally
Yeah.
got it, is I
Yeah.
am such an introvert at times. So when it
Mm,
comes to like having to make like appearances or being out in public, especially because like I currently work at a bar right now, you kind of
yeah.
have to have that extrovert, that outgoing personality.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be very social. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You kind of have
Yeah.
to have that skill, but it
Yeah.
is all an act. I swear to God. Some
Yeah.
people can see it, some people can't, but like the entire time I'm thinking about going home and
Mm-hmm.
like doing my own thing.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
it's playing video games, if it's
Mm-hmm.
just like decompressing, if it's going to the gym on my own, I just like being
Love
by
that.
myself so
I
much.
love
It's
that.
such a great feeling.
I love that you brought that up because I'm someone that like well I used to be very introverted but I'm more of like a introverted extrovert now.
Like an omnivert, like
Where
both. I
oh is
think
that
it's
what they call that
omnivert.
now? Yeah.
I
Oh
don't
I
know.
think I read about that the other day. Yeah, about the new personality type. It's a bit of both. Um, I think it just depends on like who I'm around. You know,
Yeah.
if I'm
Yeah.
with or if I'm around people or just like in a certain place that like um that I'm not comfortable with, well then I'm gonna be more introverted. But you know, vice versa. If I'm comfortable and I know the people I'm with and everything, or I'm just comfortable with like the stuff we're doing or whatever, I'm gonna be more open and everything like that. Um,
No, 100%. Yeah, I feel like it's definitely like feeding off of energy. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So like if you're in
yeah,
a public setting and they're not giving you a good energy,
yeah,
how are you supposed to like bring it out? You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
how are you supposed to bring it out? Like it's a whole
yeah.
thing.
Mhm. Well, Caden, I want to thank you very much for being on the show. We've talked a long time. I think you have now broken the Off the Record with Jordan Rance record for longest episode to date. So congrats for that.
I don't know
Appreciate
if I
you
should.
sitting around for the amount of time you did. But what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I don't know if I should
No.
apologize or if I should like celebrate a little
You
bit
should
more.
celebrate because like fuck yeah, like long episode, long deep pause. Good episode. Good episode. Good episode. Yeah.
Sorry. Episode. It was a good episode.
I know we've talked a lot, but I'm going to give you the floor. And if there's anything else you'd like to say, any shout outs, where can people find your stuff, or if there's anything you want to tell people, if not, all good, but the floor is yours.
Absolutely, guys. Find me on Instagram at Kaden_Legrow_.
Hell yeah.
That's all I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, for the viewers and listeners around the world, because I know they're everywhere out there, be sure to follow the show on Instagram and subscribe on YouTube at Off the Record with Jordan Rance. And, of course, catch new episodes every single Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, wherever you get your podcasts. Once again, I'm Jordan Rance, and this is Kaden Legrow, and we are out of here. Bye.